It's a beautiful day. I'm on my way to the studio and Apple just yesterday introduced new products. One of them is really cool and that is the HomePod. As you know, I'm a huge Apple fan. This right there is my very first iMac. That's the machine I started making music with. Then I switched to the G5, which was a big step up. Most of the tracks that I ever made were done with that computer. And I also got quite a lot of iBooks. I don't know why, but the iBooks never really lasted long. The MacBook Pros are fantastic. I have this already since late 2013 and it's still performing as it did on the very first day. Without it, I would be pretty much lost. I also use Logic Pro X to make my music, which is also by Apple, and it's just a fantastic, very fair priced piece of software I use on a daily basis. So let's get to the HomePod. To be honest, I don't really like the name. It sounds a little weird to me, HomePod. I would have chosen something else, definitely. But the design is cool. You can get it in black and white, and I think it should fit in most homes. You can pair it up to use it as like a stereo system. You just have to get two of them. They built quite a lot of tech into it. The AA chip that you also know from the iPhone is built right into it, so it's very powerful. It has a really big woofer at the top. They didn't release any specs, so I don't know which frequencies it's outputting, but usually bass frequencies are harder to locate. So it's kind of okay that it sits on top and is facing upwards. Usually a more traditional design where it is facing the listener might be better, but this unit is meant to sit anywhere in the room. So I think it's the best solution for this device. There are 7 tweeters at the bottom of the unit facing into every direction, and they will output the mid and the higher frequencies. There are 6 microphones all around the speaker. They are very important to pick up your voice whenever you want to talk to Siri. And this way, this speaker is able to do things other speakers just can't do. And that's already where we're getting into the really interesting part about the speaker that makes me quite excited as a music producer. Because whenever you have a speaker that also has a microphone and can pick up whatever it is outputting and receiving back from the reflections of the room, it can start measuring the room and also comparing both signals, like the internal signal of the original audio and the signal of the audio that it's picking up. So the difference between those two is actually what the room is doing to the music. This technique in itself is nothing new. A lot of studio music producers do that already for a couple of years. I think the first time I tried it out is like 5-6 years ago. It's a product called Arc, or Arc 2 is now the newer version. And you just put a microphone at the sweet spot where you're sitting and listening to the music. Pretty much like this, just with another microphone. You will actually need one of those measurement microphones. They are way more linear and way more accurate, and this way you can actually really pick up what your room is doing to the sound. So let's really quick just play one of my tracks and pick it up with this mic. It's time to go where we both can finally grow. That should be enough for this really quick test. So already just from looking at the waveform, you can see that the recorded sound looks way different than the internal original audio file. To make the difference even more obvious, let's run it through the Magic Cue. First the original signal. And now the recording out of the room. The difference for you is probably very huge because the recorded signal is running through the room again and then being picked up by the mic of the camera. So let's look at the Magic Cue. It's way more accurate to tell the difference between those two signals. I just have to hit here the match, and that's basically what my room is doing to the signal. You can see changes in the frequencies up to 10 dB, and believe me, 10 dB is quite a lot. Because as you might know, dBs are not linear, so 50 dB, if you want to have something twice as loud, it's not 100 dB, it's actually every 10 dB it's doubling. For example, a normal conversation could be like 50 dB, and 60 dB is already traffic outside. So 10 dB difference in an audio signal is like reducing it by half. So some frequencies here in this room are reduced by half, and this is just due how the frequencies are responding to the room. They're bouncing around, and this room right here is already treated to the maximum actually. I have quite a lot of absorbers here. The ceiling is absorbing. So if you would compare this and do this test in a normal living room situation, the changes might be way more dramatic. And this entire technique, or the principle of this technique, was introduced in the Sonos speakers for the consumer market. I actually did it yesterday. You just run around with your phone and kind of pick up what the speaker is outputting, and it's calculating something for you. But what's so new about the Apple speaker is that it has the microphones built in, and it's able to do it in real time. So if a room is full of people, because you have like a nice home party, it can detect it and change the room. If someone leaves the room, it will react to it. If the room is empty, it will react to it. If you place the speaker at another spot, it can always just get the best possible sound for you, which is quite nice, because as you saw, the sound is changing quite a lot by the room. It's a big factor that a lot of people don't know about or just not really think about, but the room is at least making half of the sound of what you're hearing. The speaker might not be that important, so I really love seeing that implemented into those speakers. And that's something really typical for Apple. They make hardware that is kind of mediocre, because there are definitely speakers out there that are bigger, have better sound, have better woofers, have better tweeters. But with that software and combination, I'm pretty sure you will get excellent sound quality out of those speakers. The HomePods have another really cool technique that is known in the studio for quite some time. They've now implemented for the very first time into a speaker. It's the one where Siri is able to hear your voice although the music is playing. I will try and explain it to you, but first back to making music.
Is it you or is it me? I don't know, I just keep letting us go, go. It's time to know when we both can finally grow, grow. So don't fall.
All done with making music for today. It's now, what is it? It's like almost 8, so let's get back to the HomePods. I still don't really like the name. I'm not sure if they're using it, but there are quite a lot of techniques to extract vocals out of an audio source. Of course, the first one would be with EQing. The human voice has like a specific range, and if you narrow it down to that range and just extract whatever Siri can then listen to, it might kind of work. But if you have a track running in a really high volume with vocals and then you try to activate Siri, it might get a whole lot more difficult. I think the second you say, "Hey Siri," it will activate and then stop the music probably. I'm not sure, but if you can talk over the music and give commands while the music is running, I'm pretty sure they're using something that a lot of producers have used in the past to extract vocals out of any track. This technique is quite simple. You need a song and the instrumental to the song, and then you flip the phase on the instrumental. It means that you make the opposite out of all of the sine waves that the track consists of, match it again with the version with the vocals, and then all of the sine waves that are flipped will then kind of eliminate each other, and the only thing left are the vocals. I did that on quite a lot of edits back in the days to just get access to the vocals. If you have the instrumental and the original, you can do that quite easy. Let me know if you're interested in this technique, and I might be able to show it to you tomorrow again here in the studio in a bit more detail. But I think Apple will use this. That's probably the best way to do it. Kind of listening to whatever you are saying with the music playing, comparing it again with the internal source that they have, and then kind of extracting the voice. This would be the best. The easier solution would be just to be able to listen to the "Hey Siri" and then stop the music, but it would be cool if you could give Siri commands while the music is still playing. we will see. I'm not sure which way they will go. This would be really cool. And yeah, and now it's probably just time to head back home. I'm not sure if I will get the speaker, because my entire system back at home is Sonos. I got 2 speakers, thinking about buying a new one, and I think the Apple speaker is better. I don't know if it's worth its price. I'm not really interested in the whole intelligent speaker functions, talking to a speaker. It's enough that I'm already running around talking to a camera, so I won't probably get it. I don't see the advantage switching because I already have the Sonos, but if you don't have any Wi-Fi speakers, these might be the one for you. Just imagine making a track with a lot of Hey Siri in it and giving commands to the speakers once everyone has one at home. This could be a Pinky in the Brain, like trying to take over the world idea. This was a really good TV show.